Hey everybody, Danny Rubino here with Windows Central, and check it out, we got the Moly X1 from CoShip. It comes out of China. You can order this on Amazon.com right now. $300, completely unlocked. Supposedly works with AT&T and T-Mobile, including LTE bands, all for $300, which is supposed to be really good. This is claimed to be the slimmest LTE Windows phone. And it definitely is quite thin. So we're going to do a quick unboxing here and see what we got. This phone is definitely really interesting. It's got a 5.5-inch full HD display with Gorilla Glass. And we've got the little, let's see if we can peel this off here. And there's, of course, that display. Pretty thin bezel as well. Definitely a very thin phone. What makes it interesting here on the back is you can see that it's a lot of glare. That's because it's basically got a glass back. It's very similar to how the iPhone 5 series had a glass back on it. So I don't know, I guess it is Gorilla Glass, so it's probably, pretty strong, but it could also technically shatter. On the back there, a 13 megapixel camera, so who knows how good that is, but you also got a dual LED flash. We'll definitely do some samples for that. You can also see some microphones back there as well, which is pretty good for video recording. This phone has supposedly got a lot of support from Microsoft as well, so it should be getting all the updates. Coming around to the front here, 5 megapixel front camera. As I said, 5.5-inch display, full HD, Corning Gorilla Glass. It even advertised clear black, which is really interesting because we all thought that was supposed to be a Microsoft Nokia thing, but perhaps they have some deal there. Coming around to the top here, it looks like we have some ports. I imagine this will be where we put the SIMs in. Oh, sorry, these are the headphone jacks. Now, this is kind of interesting. This phone was originally sort of advertised as being waterproof or water resistant, which is why it has these covers on there. So that's not just a design thing, although it does hide things very well. You may also find that a little irritating if you do use wired headphones a lot. That looks like the micro USB plug. So this isn't a Type-C, it's micro USB. So it charges in there. Could be kind of interesting to keep having to undo those every once in a while. Coming around to the side here, and it looks like we have the SIM card or the storage card, I'm not really sure. So this has 16 gigs of internal storage, and of course has a micro SD expansion, so you can add that there. And over here, I can't really see the label, but that's either the SIM card or the SD card, so we'll find out a little bit more in a few minutes here. There you have your volume controls and power buttons. They feel very nice, actually, built right into the device. They do give you some cool things here, including a screen wiper and a screen protector, if you're into those. We've got the little instruction book here, the quick start guide, which is pretty nice. And then some other tools. Here is, of course, the wall jack for charging it. Should be just a simple wall wart. And then, of course, the charging cable. And this looks like some sort of SIM tool. I'm not really 100% sure, but it's kind of interesting looking. So we're gonna charge this up and we'll see what we got, and we'll give you a tour of the operating system here in a few minutes. Okay, everybody, we're back here. We have the phone all booted up. A couple other things here I forgot to mention. This has a Snapdragon 410 processor. It's 1.2 gigahertz and 2 gigs of RAM. Obviously pretty mediocre specs, and you kind of notice it a little bit here when you're scrolling. There's going to be a little stuttering. Now, we should point out this does ship with version 10.586 of Windows 10 Mobile. That's .00. So if you've been following, the actual shipping version that's out now is .29, and of course the insider update is 0.71. So we will eventually upgrade to that. In fact, the .29 update is actually downloading, so you don't need to be an insider for that. This phone is getting that direct update from Microsoft, so I imagine performance is going to get a little bit better here, but there is a little bit of stutter, so you can expect that though with a full HD display and a Snapdragon 410 processor. The phone itself is actually, the build quality is pretty solid. The device doesn't creak or really anything. It feels really good. This back though is definitely a huge fingerprint magnet. In fact, just holding the phone is going to put fingerprints all over it. So it's kind of a bit of a shame. It looks really cool until you start touching the phone. Definitely a neat design though, but that is one downside. The other thing we need to point out too is this phone ships with a Chinese ROM. And because of that, when the phone first boots up, it's all in Chinese. And it was actually surprisingly difficult to choose English. We had to basically go into the phone first and then go into settings and figure that out as far as resetting the language, and definitely was not easy. So be warned, you may have to do a little investigating if you get this phone. We'll actually do a separate video on how to set the default language to English. Here we are though, the phone itself doesn't have too much in the way of apps, it just has the core apps. We're seeing this more and more, of course, with Windows 10 mobile devices. There are no custom software basically built into it. It's just standard Windows 10 mobile. And there really isn't much else to say about this device. We'll do a little bit more with the camera in the coming days, and we're going to upgrade this to maybe even to the .7.1. We'll also compare it to the .29 in terms of performance. You know, the phone looks really nice. It feels really good to hold. I have to admit, typing on it, especially at a 5.5-inch display, feels really, really nice. I just like the way it feels. Having said that, the processor performance is a little strange. You know, it's not going to be the fastest out there. You do have these port covers everywhere, which if you're going to be charging frequently, don't forget this doesn't have Qi wireless built in. You're going to have to be constantly kind of prying these things off, which is going to be kind of, you know, not ideal. As you can see, I have to struggle a little bit to pull these out. There we go. So that's the headphone jack, of course. So definitely some weird things on this device. One thing that is kind of cool though is you can charge it with the display off. That is, you can power down the phone and plug it in, and you can actually get a charging icon on the screen, so you can do that. I don't know why Lumias don't do that, but this phone does. It is an option for OEMs to put onto their device. There you go. We'll have more information on this in the coming days. If you have questions, leave them for us in comments. We'll do our best to follow up with those in a forthcoming article. Head to Windows Central for more information. Thanks for watching. Take care, everybody.